Ajit and Rajiv is here. I can hear from Rajiv, intrusion detection system with ML. Ajit, what is the broader area? We'll come back to I just want to hear Ajit, what is the broader area? All of you must talk about the broader area. Jonathan, Vignesh. Vignesh, I have committed so many things to your uncle. What? I have not heard only anything. Speak up, make noise. Young people are better cybersecurity experts. Vignesh?
Actually, I was
Is
going
there,
to
but
anonymous researcher based on browser attack.
come again, louder. Browser only? What?
I was going to the browser attack scenarios, ma'am. So based on that, I was looking for the project based on this browser in the browser attack. Something like man in the middleware attack.
Okay, always think about the audience here when you speak. When you write, when you do anything, think about the audience. I am not able to understand anything. Clearly, talk slowly, little loudly. Vignesh?
Yes, ma'am. I was looking for this browser kind of attacks. Recently, I gone through some anonymous researcher named Mr. Dogs. I have gone through his research published in his website. So I was going through this website regarding this browser in browser attack, which was published recently in recent times.
Okay, so can you do one thing, Vignesh? Can you put the title in the chat? All of you, can you type the title? Is there a problem with my voice?
Right.
To speak that, no?
Okay, you can't hear me. Huh? Can you hear me?
We can hear.
Okay, thank you. So if all of you can type your title, that will be great. Vignesh, please do that because I understood somewhat, but what exactly you are, if not title, at least write a line, right?
Yes,
okay, so let us go back to this topic on network intrusion detection system, right? Using machine learning. Now the challenge is that this is very broad. We need to identify, I think at least about 3-4 projects currently in race is happening on this topic. Network intrusion detection system with machine learning. I think Raj Manohar is doing, he's not there. He's in the other batch because that's convocation batch. This is next convocation batch.
Yeah, sorry. Spoken.
Okay. So this definitely need, because you will get how many thousands of papers on this with the code. You didn't know?
I think that we have to develop the code.
GitHub, you just search, you'll get all kinds of code. Papers with code. Under papers with code itself. Right? They've done all modeling also. DevNet, segmented FL, federated learning, very advanced level. No, don't get intimidated. You can still
I have a
go
question.
ahead.
So it's like the topic can be same, but maybe Rajiv, if he bring an unique idea into that, and followed by his own code, can that be considered?
Say this is a leaderboard, right? That means somebody has used random forest and making this better. In terms of, say, if you are detecting, right, you are classifying that this is an intruder or this is a malicious intention and this is genuine or benign, right? So if you are creating that classification model, you may use different algorithms, and these are two, 3 lines of code. I am sure these codes are. But once you get into the get the data in, do some of the pre-processing steps, and then if possible some feature engineering and run these algorithms. That is where you will detect, right? You will identify the classification in terms of accuracy. Now these methodologies, you can try and see that whether if I use, say, an support vector machine, or if I use advanced neural networks, will this result be better, right? So you can do that, you can present. But since this is a very, say, for example, this is KDD dataset. You have heard about KDD, right? I'm sure Pradeepta would have discussed this. So some of these are very famous datasets. I'm not sure about others, but look at this, maybe look at these. There will be a meta description of the data also. So data is also available. But if you are bringing a live use case, so that is the difference you are bringing. You are not taking an open Kaggle or open data available. You are bringing yours. When you are bringing yours, you must also bring some kind of an understanding that this is the genuine, or this is no malign and benign. You need to also get that data. Means somebody has to do system driven labeling. Somebody would have alerted, right, as an incident. So that data, if you have, so look at, download this data sets are there. Download this data and see the pattern. You try to match your live data with the same data, and you run any of the algorithms and you build your model. Absolutely perfect, right? Okay, so especially this topic, there are plenty. In fact, we were just discussing with Dr. Simha. He was also telling that let them apply various techniques and see whether they can improve the accuracy. Okay. In terms of, so let me just go back to this intrusion detection system using, say, an ensembling model or something like that. If you write, the abstract will get accepted very fast. Otherwise, immediately the question would come. The purpose of this Capstone project is to build. So wherever there is red marks, you use, I use Grammarly. Because if you don't start the writing practice, it will be very, otherwise use the word plugin, right? Spelling and grammar. System using machine. The idea behind selecting this project was nowadays, these are all very generic words. No, nowadays you are not writing your whatever you think. You have to reference, you have to cite, as I mentioned. What is the size of this market of intrusion detection systems, right? What is the latest happening there? Quantify, large picture, some global statistics you must bring in everywhere. Earlier days, it was bit difficult. Bit and all that should not be, I mean, so while writing, all these will get difficult to identify intrusion packet traffic, and by performing manual study by the time challenge of an organization, how to identify intrusion. Since the machine learning code was introduced, it's not code, it is machine learning algorithms was introduced. It is okay. Some writing. Many organizations may construct open internet guest network allows. Yeah. So first paragraph. So don't write so many things. Just first paragraph is that how big is this market is. And a simple use case could be university allowing guests to enter to the network and what all it can do. So very precisely, you just show how easier for people to do intrusion detection through network. That I think serves the purpose. Otherwise, there is a lot of redundancy, a lot of repetition in the text, right? So because everyone has quick 1 minute, everyone say, excellent written. So in a scale of 1 to 10, you decide whether it is repeating. So that is why read aloud. If you read aloud, you will only faint. Right? Okay. So I am very, what is that? So don't take it personally. Yes. Yes. So intrusion detection system provided another layer of, will provide, right? Intrusion detection systems analyzes the data. Okay, lot of most IDs are handcrafted detection that are developed by manual coding of expert. Okay, since this has already been discussed, right? Manual coding, expert knowledge, heuristic system, all that you put already. You don't have to repeat. Story is how once upon a time there was something. You can't keep telling once upon a time there was something. You have to build the story next line. So just see, there is a big problem. This is a sample problem, like put a university system. And then you would say that currently expert systems are, or expert systems or heuristic systems are, I mean, it's obsolete. That kind of intrusion detection system, you cannot because of the large data which is involved. Therefore, machine learning or AI-driven systems must come in, right? So it's a clear thought. I mean, just think about simple sentences, simple story. Problem statement. An open internet access allows. What is problem statement? It is just a verb. You start with a verb to build an efficient machine learning algorithm to secure network related. Specifically, in a context, you say that for a hospital or for a healthcare, for an edutech, right? So it's clear. So this part is different from this part, no? They are using, many organizations and universities using proxies. That's so your problem statement. What is the problem that you are, so problem statement is not background again, and you are already informed about the problem. So building that is the problem for your project that you are solving. Now, so this has to be rewritten. Proposed solution. This is good. We will place a network tap in between perimeter firewall and inside LAN network, and the network tap will capture all incoming and outgoing packets and will allow us to investigate the logs. Network tap is providing the English is not flowing. I think more you read, you will get that understanding, right? Providing great features to export logs or integrate with sim tools for log analysis. So somewhere I lost it started good, but somewhere I lost the proposed solution. In our proposed solution, notice, we will train our machine learning model to identify attack patterns and generate an alarm so well, we'll identify block the IP on fair. Yeah. The proposed solution is also clear. Two parts are there. How would you get the data? Intrusion, whatever that the network tap that you are discussing, how to get the data, and what kind of machine learning algorithms will work on the data, and what is the output. So you say alarm is the output, then you have to put that. So three-step solution. Creating an environment to get the data, creating an engine which will process the data and build the machine learning output, and how do you give back to the users, right? So use some frameworks, especially in analytics, there are beautiful framework. So if you see here, I'm just putting, one is called CRISP-DM, right? So please use, these are industry practices. So I'm just putting here any analytics project, please use this. So business understanding, that means the placeholders are very easy. What is a business understanding? How many attackers are coming through this? What is the business loss or whatever that you put? What is the data required? Go through this data which you already have, right? This is description of the data. KDD data is different from the CCID. So go and understand what data is required, right? So where is that? Yeah, I'm just putting, you can search in CRISPR more, so much of written details are there, but I'm putting it in this one. Okay, another framework you can, so data understanding, data preparation, modeling, this is where all the ML models would come, but that's only one part of it. It's not that anything you just put in model and build, it will backfire. So your problem would be to identify the right data, right features from the data, and put the right features so that you will get the result which is better and better accurate, more than a heuristic or expert model, right? So you can experiment with different modeling, but if your data is not good, you are not going to get any output, as you are aware, right? So evaluation techniques, there are multiple metrics, could be F1 score or confusion metrics or whatever that you put, where you say that 99% accuracy I'm able to achieve because of this, or 70% is the standard norm, but through my methodology I'm able to increase. And then how do you deploy? What is that alarm? How would you build that end connection, right? You have a CSV file now with the result, but now what? Where you put it, right? So that deployment, so it completes the framework. So if you use CRISP-DM, people will keep quiet. Otherwise, they will ask, so what? You have a model now, right? It's not real-time data. It's not real-time deployment. Both the pieces are missing. And the data what you put in is not properly, it's not standard practices to collect those data. You may say that you can do something great, but this may not be standard practice. Okay, another one is my MS TDSP. So please go and see Microsoft Azure TDSP frameworks. Team data science process, beautiful documentation. We just love Microsoft documentation. You don't need anything else. This is mainly for MTech or MS people because the other one is more of data mining practices. Here it's more of ML practices. So please go through this. I'm putting here Microsoft TDSP. It has a beautiful diagram. So life cycle, right? Business understanding is there, almost part of the ML CRISP-DM, but they have added a few things more. Say data acquisition and understanding, data source. How would you now create a connection between your intrusion tap and your machine learning pipeline, right? So pipeline, environment, wrangling, exploration, cleaning, different words, but more or less captures the essence. And then customer access. So this is a better life cycle, especially if you are doing cyber security, because in our programs, MBAs use TDS, I mean, CRISP-DM. For MS cybersecurity, MTech cybersecurity, ideally can use this one. There is no written rule or anything. It is little more technically explained better, right? Okay. So, and then, so that means one part is the input. Here is where you have the process, which is ML. And then here is where you will have a switch or whichever way that you are trying to connect it to the dashboard. There, ideally, if you can build a dashboard, nothing like that, right? So first project, Capstone 1, you may focus on building the models and building the accuracy, do more feature engineering. Second part, connect to a cloud systems or an application or a dashboard where you can showcase. You can close the project. Don't get into another area and then again steep learning curve is there. You will break your head. Wherever steep learning curve is there, please don't get into that area. Because then we will be having all of you stuck in our system. We want all of you to be out of the system, right? For everyone's good. You can come back with PhD if you want. But with masters, you get out. Okay. Okay, so this is little changes is required to build a neural network to advance ideas. We'll use decision tree. Okay, neural network is another methodology. Decision tree is the first level of understanding what is actually leading to this bifurcation of benign and malign. K nearest neighbors is a very, very different algorithms altogether. So you must know a little when you are writing this. Okay, so please check the difference between. You ideally would use some advanced neural networks and stop there at the abstract level. While you are doing, you can define which one, right? Now, there are certain things that you should look at. Research on internet. So when you're doing this referencing, please use a referencing software. Why I'm telling right now is that it's so important to do referencing software because plagiarism, it's mandatory. You have to go through that to ensure that whatever you have copied has been cited well. So in Word, you already have a referencing feature. Here is where you can build your database. So you need to build a database of all your references. So take new, I'll show both. Take new, if it is a book, you add the book details, author, title, city, publisher, and keep, suppose you have say 10 you have read now, right? You keep that in the database. So in your Word database, it's already there. You don't have to keep building it all the time, right? Now, So if it is a book, then do that. Book section, do that. Journal article. So the fields differ. See, the moment I put journal article, it's a title, journal name, year. You may not put so much pages, volume, issue. Maybe you can. If you think it is there, you put it, right? But you need to spend time on this. There is no shortcut to this. You have to build your database of your citations. Even if you are citing a website, otherwise you will not clear, right? So these are the things that you can, so many types are there. If it is website, what are the things? Name of the web page, there will be URL, right? Day accessed, all that will come. So put as much as possible. Year is important, author is important, URL is important. You check whether you want to fill everything if you have time, but spend some time on this, okay? And then say, okay, your database get built. What you do now is that, suppose I have taken this from somewhere, you just say that insert citation, add a new source, and then not add a new source, but I'll say I'm not getting, 1 second. Maybe I'm not connected or whatever. I have some papers. I'm just thinking that why it is not coming. Select and all that. A new placeholder. Okay, so there is some bit of broken system here, but you will typically get it as a drop down. All your things would come in, and then you can just enter that, and it will automatically come here as the citation in an abbreviated format. And when you go here and then you do insert bibliography, all these will get refreshed automatically. You don't have to write anything later. Only database building you have to spend time. But I don't use Word, and we keep telling that it is better to use Mendeley. Mendeley as the referencing tool. Do not use Word. If somebody has problem of Mendeley and all that, please do that, right? So I would again get into some problem because I need to get started. Just checking for the password. Okay. Okay, I have maybe this works. So what you can do is create it as a Chrome extension. Here, it will come here, right? As a Chrome extension. Then anything you are searching, it will automatically get added into your Mendeley database. This is a very poor way of somebody is sharing me something. I'm going to delete because it's a very poor way of the same database building, right? If you don't build it properly, you don't have anything. Your year is not added, it will not come. You have to add it, right? So suppose if say cyber attacks, just taking some. We have done this multiple times. Please check the LMS as well. We have done multiple demos on this. It is all available in the LMS. Okay, so now the best part is that I'm not able to show you, but what as I mentioned, once you put here properly, you just say insert citation, it will automatically build. So same paper you are referring 10 times, 10 times. You don't have to track this. As many times you want, once your database is there, you can just extract it. So please use intelligent way of managing plagiarism Otherwise, you will be caught. Even if it's a website. Okay. Now there are different styles. One is IEEE, the other one is APA. For all the MTech MS, you can use IEEE style. It should be IEEE style. IEEE style, I am sorry, I'm not able to show, but somehow it is, there is one more feature should come, which we am not part of online or anything. Okay, so these two things please do while you are writing your this one. So this is not a standard way, right? This is not the standard way. You have to use those softwares to build it. Then nobody will question why it is written like IEEE standing. No, it will automatically pick up the right way, right? It should ideally start with. So let me show you how this is done. Say Google Scholar. Plenty of papers on network intrusion. Detection system. Search for PDFs. If you don't have IEEE, you don't have anything, you can use always this. Since 2018, don't take old papers. Since 2018. And search for PDFs. Survey on SDN-based network. Maybe IEEE. On the feasibility of deep learning in sensor network intrusion. You can do sensor networks. You can again go more specific to certain things, right? So PDF Wiley, if we put it, right? You have a paper here already. So refer the right papers. It's easier to, and your final project need not be 100 pages. If the project is good, 20 pages are also enough. Even if you put 100 pages, doesn't mean that you will clear, right? Okay, so please.
What do you do on net attack surface monitoring?
Okay, so Sandeep has a project idea, internet-based attack, surface monitoring. Somebody is interested. Maybe you want to come and talk here. What is the expectation or anything?
Purpose is your attack. What is your attack surface? How do you define your attack surface? You understand attack surface, landscapes? Do you understand what is an attack surface? If your organization, if you know your organization is under attack, where is it under attack? What is under attack?
So what are the possible sources from where the attack can be occurred?
Originated.
Yeah. Originated, yeah.
So you have a source and you have a destination, but then what gets attacked? What gets impacted?
Assets.
Assets. Yeah.
Assets.
Okay, assets, right? Now, from an attack surface point of view, one is your crown jewel assets, which is in your data centers, cloud, or your infrastructure, wherever you host it. That is one. Okay. Or attack can originate externally, right? And percolate within your environments, which is cloud, infrastructure. Okay. Now, if you can monitor your attack landscape or surface outside of your organization, right? For example, Facebook or dark web, dark net. Like if it's a BFSI client, it's a financial customer, you will see an attack originating externally, right? So let's say you can classify, identify your asset, which is on the cloud, which is accessed by external third parties, users, retails, right? These are how the business model work for organization, right? So your attack is always possible outside. Let's say, for example, very simple, your email. You have a domain, like I have an email ID, sandeep@reva.edu.in, right? So reva.edu.in is is your organization's domain. Sandeep is the name. I have an email ID on that domain, right? Now, if this email or the infrastructure of the email, be it O365 or if it is hosted in your environment, if that is not secured, you can always spoof it externally, right? I can spoof it. I may not be Sandeep, but I can spoof it externally. I can say Sandeep, and I can start sending a spam email to all the employees of Reva or all the participants in a certain batch in CS06. I can say, right? I can say like, okay, uh, Shinu is sending out an email that, okay, for next, if you do not complete your project in a certain duration of time, I will give you extension by another 15 days, but click here to pay X amount. I'm spoofing our email ID, right? That attack is originated externally. I have spoofed it externally. So how do I protect that? I would use a DMARC. So there is an authentication, DMARC icon. Have you heard of this concept? Right? So I protect that domain. So, but there are ways you can crawl and understand what is the activity on this domain. How safe or unsafe has been this domain? What is the reputation of this domain? How many attempts of spoofing has happened on this domain? Right? This is an attack surface externally. If you can monitor that behavior, I'm asking one example, maybe an email domain itself can be an example. And you can showcase your rules through your DMARC. If you can do that, yeah, it's an area which today companies want to monitor. They want to monitor what is happening for their domain externally. Or has there been an attack which was successful and is my data residing somewhere with multiple attackers group, right? Can I look into those activities, right?
Is it a kind of CTI, like where you're collecting the information from a different
CTI
resources?
is a source. CTI is a source. I mean, that is one of the source that you will always use, right? But
Okay.
if you can, don't go too far. Don't go. I mean, just look at uh, campaigns for Reva universities on Facebook, right? Somebody would be doing activities to defame the programs within Reva, right? How difficult it is to figure out? There can be a negative campaign, right? Or let's say, uh, I mean, look at the political system, right? I mean, there are some activities that happens. I would not take any examples, but suddenly you would see some activities has happened because of some political or politician making a statement, right? So what would the government or the authorities want to know? Like, what is the mood of that particular area? What is somebody trying to do, right? If there could be hate, there could be some actions that would be occurring around, right? Somebody's on the social media constantly writing against it, right? This is the mood, right? This can be monitored, right? So just try to understand if you could do any of those sentiment analysis externally so that you can be proactive and you have that intelligence. Any activities of that nature happens, it could be preempted, right? One important concept, don't always, I mean, now what I'm seeing, why I'm picking up this is because you're monitoring on your networks, right? You have network intrusions, you're doing packet captures, you're doing endpoints. I think most of the projects are aligned around this. Let's do a little outside, and this is easy to do. It is not that complex to do. Don't ask me, go figure out. I'm telling you a problem statement. How you want to do it, that is, you will have to figure out.
So if you pin some mail ID there, you will get some details that what and all sites have misused it. That particular mail ID. Just check your own, you will get to see. Yeah. So that might be.
Yeah, so crawl that one source. That is one use case. But that is not just, I mean, so one source, but similar to that, use a mechanisms to understand, right? Internet is a, I mean, you can crawl through whatever sources you want, you can, nobody's stopping you.
So the typical use cases or projects we are doing, a lot of very specific, narrow down the topic of area. Say, for example, accidents in Bangalore, real-time monitoring, through ML, machine learning. So those kinds of projects our participants are doing. If you are interested, you can check. How do you do this? What are the sources? You have tweets going on because most of the time these accidents are reported, right? Somebody is reporting. So you have these real-time tweets coming in, and if you put a trolling mechanism that real-time these tweets are getting captured in the system. And from there you identify the geotag because it's already there in the text itself. And then create a pre-processing system which says that what is the severity of this accident. Similarly for crime, you can do the same thing for anything related to very specific use cases. So you have to define. We have defined that, okay, alert mechanism for accidents in bank. This is very useful, right? Socially useful. So immediately an alert and ambulance can go based on the distance.
Or create one forensics, a very good forensic use case and showcase how you have been able to investigate with those indicators, right? Let's have some innovation with simplicity. I mean, not wanting to make it too complex.
Evidences are there, all that. How did you write the report? How did you collect the artifacts? Nobody is actually submitting all that because these are all very protected areas. Nobody is doing it.
Create your own scenarios. Use multiple systems, multiple attack scenarios. How did you investigate? It's all data, right? It's all available. Right?
You don't change. We have defined yours. Are you changing? Because our problem is that once we identify, then you will hear, okay, now I'm feeling bad. I will die.
Yeah, so obviously you need tools, right? How do you get your artifacts? You need some methods, and tools is very much part of it. Any?
Take forensic as part of your sector. If somebody is very keen on forensics, we'll open up one of the modules. So look at problem statements are plenty. I don't think attacks are increasing day by day. The vulnerabilities are so much evidently available. And if you see any of this, you will see that there is so much work done in any of the areas. So if I am searching for, say, forensics, what is the keyword? Cyber forensics, huh? Don't write, otherwise all the other forensics will come. Cyber forensics, just let us see what is happening here. Mechanism and emerging challenges, diverging deep learning. Everything is now deep learning only. Role of cybersecurity. Okay, this is a generic paper, PDF. Okay, security challenges in IoT. IoT, I think IoT, BYOD environment. I think these are very, very typical use cases which current companies are facing today, right? And nobody is thinking about sensors. I mean, it's difficult to actually pick, but for some of the first years have done that. There is a machine learning approach to cybersecurity forensics. Okay. So this identifying 10 papers, and now let me take one paper, right? So how do you actually now build your story based on this. So let me go back to intrusion network and then take this paper from on the feasibility of deep learning, systematic study of machine learning. This looks like a conceptual paper. You need to optimize machine learning. Okay, so let's take this. And one more thing I wanted to show you here is, you see here, cite. This is how you should cite. You should not change this pattern. Don't go and mess it up and say research paper, you add some masala on this. No, it's the same. Just copy. But if you don't have to do it if you put it in Mendeley or your Word database, right? Another one is that you have cited by 152 people. This paper is already cited by 152 people. Do you want to check their papers? Go there. Go there. You will get all 152 papers, which is referred that paper. That means it's all connected to this only. It's beautiful systems are there already for you to capture and narrow down your research area. Right? So related articles are here. All 5 versions. Save this option is there. Right? So much. So this itself and IEEE archive. If you crawl through these repositories, you will get beautiful 10 papers. From that, you have to write the story. So here, when we are going here, sorry, let me go here to the PDF. Right? Read the abstract immediately so that you will know. Now, these are the keywords you should search in your while searching. IEEE, you have to search with these keywords. You can't search something else, right? So if you see here, I want to actually copy this. IDS was first proposed by Jim Anderson in 1980. This is an important starting story, right? I want to use that. So I'll copy this. Control C, copy. Copy and then write here, right? And I'm writing here. Please note that I should change. I should add. So I'm just putting under background. This may not be the right storytelling, but I'm just writing that IDS was first proposed, right, in 19. But you know that this person has referred that, right? He has referred to the original paper written by Jim Anderson, right? It is 4. You can even check that paper in the bibliography. 4. It is written 4, right? Anderson, computer security threat monitoring surveillance. Right? This is the paper. It's a good idea to actually be curious. So curiosity, I think that is the researcher's first sign. So yeah. So you have all the papers being beautifully cited here. That's why it gets published. You are giving the credit to the right person, right? So likewise, so I have written this, the idea of IDS was proposed. Now, how will I rewrite this? I cannot just copy this and write something. I would say Jim Anderson is the first one proposed IDS. Let's change the statement in 1980s. Sentence is changed, but still giving the credit to that paper. Difficult. Okay, it's not difficult to do it somehow. You've chosen a master's program. Okay, so that is how you will build the story. And so in this paper only you will get that citation run. And in this paper, I'm going back. So I cited one sentence from here. I am quickly checking. See, more you read, you will do quick reading. If you are struggling to read, means it will take 1 year to read one paper, right? So you must know how to quickly read. So they have put so beautifully so many things. The methodology, right? Now I want to copy this picture because it looks nice. Research methodology, phase 1, phase 2. So keyword adaptation, query execution, search engine, initial list. Maybe I may not use it. I'm just going further, right? Okay, yeah, this looks fine. Passive deployment of network-based intrusion detection system. Yeah, so this is how this happens. I want to copy this. You can copy. You can do a print screen and copy. But then it is not mine. Don't put it and say that it is mine. It is this person's. Now, how to go back and get I'm just quickly going. What is the citation for this paper? This is the citation. This is the citation. I must cite it, right? CITE. So you will take one starting paragraph from this paper, change the face. I will put the initial, what do you call, it's not a conceptual map of your project, but how exactly intrusion detection happens, right? That architecture that you can copy from here, cite it, concept. Now here, intrusion detection system classification. See how systematically they are building the story. They're not going all over and writing something. What is ideas? How ideas happens? What kind of taxonomy classifications are available, right? Detection based on ideas, AI methods, general AI based, okay, ML algorithm, original data set, processing. So follow the TDSP model, training data set, train and test because you will be comparing the accuracy based on both, right? And then you have, see, yeah, I can copy so many things from this paper. Which is allowed. Please copy, but cite, right? And change, right? So decision tree, KNN, support vector machine, they have explained everything. And ensemble, recurrent neural network, autoencoders. You may not have to if you don't understand, don't get into so deep. Let me go back and check. Yeah, the final results are also there. Summary of public. See, they have summarized all the data sets available on intrusion detection. KDD cup, please read. So many papers are written on it. Recent trends and observations. And then their their steps, right? What is the frequency of usages? Okay, I think it's something else, but it's a long paper. So, yeah. Rajiv, enough material is there. So you'll rewrite now. You'll rewrite the abstract, right? So I would say start with a small paragraph of how big is this problem. If you want to keep on talking about university system, do that, or you find a better story, write that, and then say that this project is to, that's your problem statement. This project is to build or to design or to develop. That is your problem statement. And how would you actually do that? Propose solution. What kind of data I will have? I will use TDSP methodology. I'll bring this data. I'll bring this algorithm. That's all. Okay, so any other topic? One more topic we will take, and then we want all of you to finalize your topics. Any other topic you want to discuss?
I just pinged that topic which was considering. So it's for using the neural network cryptography for doing a single column encryption in a database. So I mean the use case came from our experience. Basically, I'm from the database background. So there was a customer who basically has a big database and very large data set he has, and then there is a table which is of having kind of more than 100 columns, but only one column is of sensitive data. It could be a social security number. It's a very sensitive data. So basically, the customer want to hide that information even from a privileged user like a database administrator. They don't want even the database administrator to read that. Otherwise, a database administrator basically can read any data because you have the highest level of privilege. So this was the use case. So obviously, the solution what we provided was use the DB encryption. The database itself as a product level, they are giving you the DB encryption. Use the encryption. But then the associated problems with encryption comes performance slowness. You have a backup recovery. You should always have the encryption key to restore it on a development system. So when it comes to encryption, there are associated challenges. So customer was asking, why should I have all this problem when I just want one of the column to be hidden, right? So do you have an alternate solution? So basically, there was no solution at the time. So the one that was the kind of use case from where I picked this, and then I thought like, okay, why can't we encrypt the data before sending it to the database itself? So from the application, when they insert the data, when it reaches the database itself, it's encrypted. So that database need not do any encryption, and associated problems will come. So that's a primary case. And then how do we encrypt? The customer wants a very strong encryption algorithm as well. So when you go with a product one, they definitely use AES or any advanced encryption algorithm, which is very strong. But whatever we are doing in a customized way should be kind of good enough to match with the product level of encryption. So probably one easy way to is to add a randomness using unique random numbers, and that would be what very easy one to decrypt as well, right? So I was thinking like, why can't we use a neural network learning method to introduce the cryptography in this here? So I'm still working on the what kind of neural network algorithm should be used. That's the reason I was not able to submit it. But this is my idea. Like use a strong neural network to build this cryptographic key and then encrypt it. And then yeah, of course, the decryption method also should be good enough. So this is the topic which is in my mind.
So we can't tell anything immediately unless we read. All of us have to go
Okay.
back and read what kind of options are available, approaches. It's not like you have to force fit neural network everywhere. Sometimes there could be better anonymization. So I think Rubia did a similar work because she was also doing, so she had to mask some data. And then on the front end, it has to come back again on. So she again, that was a Python based scripting. I don't think she went into a neural network based encryption. But Python-based scripting is what she used. So you can check Rubia's project also. But I don't think, see, you should always benchmark somebody outside. So if I have to go through and if I have to understand, see any reports, abstract which is coming to us, what we do, we also go and read up. And then saying that it is possible, then we will also talk to, say, some industry practices like Sandeep and say whether it is a viable abstract. We don't want you to build something and then towards the end in the Viva to say that, okay, so much of options are available.
Okay.
Right. So same process I would start. I would go to some of these and then get the best papers. So much is done on all these things. Encryption, one of the expert is Dr. Soumya. So maybe you should talk to him. He's in the groups, or if you want specifically. And multiple people are doing encryption based projects. But I haven't heard a neural network based encryption. Maybe it is my ignorance.
Yeah,
Maybe
exactly. That is the reason I want to bring some kind of uniqueness over there. So somebody is already on it, like at least I can bring that uniqueness point and then say like this is something
have you
different.
done enough work around it? Are there based data?
I've gone through a couple of papers, but
Have you seen neural network as a solution here?
yeah, I mean, this is one of the way you can most complexly encrypt the data
Okay.
rather than creating a random string or which looks pretty easy methods, right?
Okay. Because then you need to get into the formulations of this neural network algorithms itself and
Exactly.
see
So that algorithm is the one which is the core of it, right?
neural based pseudo random number generator. Yeah, and this is a solution, but how famous it is, how applicable, how efficient it is to apply.
Yeah.
Neural cryptology. There are so many areas of work already has happened. Okay, maybe you should check with Dr. Simha also. You have anything to add? I think Dr. Simha also see whether this could be a
solutions are there. So the approach is taking
typology inside shipper set. Okay. This paper, if you get the code, it is already, so you can see the results. Just putting it here for your reference. Okay. And go to the see, I didn't even do anything. I just went to Google and searched, but got something relevant. In that paper, you go to the reference and see. And please note how old is this paper, because neural network as a concept is 50, 60 years old, right? So it is 2013. That means imagine the amount of advancement in this area already would have happened. It would have been productized, commercialized, all kinds of things they would have done already. So how relevant, maybe you are learning a new concept that is different from a good approach, which can solve the problem. So I'm not saying anything, it's there is a learning, there is possibility of innovation, etc. But what are you innovating from the current state of the art innovation or something which you think nothing is there? Our thinking is so limited. That's why at least have 10 papers and say, I have referred good 10 papers of the recent years and found that this is the way it has been implemented. And I can see a small research gap here. This is where I come. So you have to.
Yeah, so intention is definitely, I know that it's not an entirely new concept or new approach. So there are various approaches. So what I'm trying to bring is a uniqueness in my approach. And then where I can uniquely point out this is what I've done something different while working on this.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a general problem statement, but probably the approach is what I am still
Okay, so I want to see how you have written the story. Then we will have to go through and see whether I can see plenty of papers are there. But everything requires little more mathematical, and the moment cryptography comes in, changing the structure definitely needs
There's a formula behind that.
So how would you actually implement it is one question that we have to put it to maybe some of the experts like Dr. Samu.
Okay, fine. Yeah, but I can bring some ML concepts here because that the one which where we can use as a training model how to generate that randomness. So some ML practices can be brought in over here. That's the reason I was thinking I'll pick it out.
Yeah, I think this paper has beautifully put certain training algorithms as well. And again, go back to and see which year it is. This is 2012, so it looks little dated. So search for something which is relevant. $364 papers are there. 82 journals. Don't take the latest. That's right, 1990 to 2000. So you can go here and do some latest papers. It will immediately come down. Right. 269 papers still. So it's a very hot topic. It's not bad. It's a good topic. See, look at this paper, encryption algorithm based on neural network. You may get something instantly here. Security is one. See the way that it is beautifully. I don't know who has published this. It's looks like an IEEE conference paper. So first year you can look at a conference paper, right? What is what is the rule? Step one. Yeah, I think the steps are very clearly mentioned here. So reading.
Yeah, so some effort will go in the coding part as well, right? Yes. Because we can still take the concepts, but again, you have to code it and make it functional, right?
Yeah, and how would you do the final connection,
presentation?
Right? Yeah, presentation in the sense that suppose tomorrow if you have to go to your management and say, DBA administrators will not, they will not know, but in the final end they will get it back. How would you create that? That could be a capstone too.
Correct. So that's what I want to somehow extend this as the next phase of it.
Yes. Okay, so will you be able to see the way that it is written? No, the title, you see how clearly they are defining the title. Okay, anyone online want to say something? Do you have enough information to fill this page now? Do you have enough information? Okay, nobody can hear.
We can hear, ma'am. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So do you have enough information to fill this page is the question.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Everyone is screaming, including baby is also learning how to write papers. Okay, baby got bored. Okay, so we need this. Going second year, you will be completely choked again with modules. 4 Saturdays, 5th Saturday exam, right? So you have to do parallelly this work. It's not that we will have another 1 year. What, Sujal? That you will come back and do one thing immediately now.
We don't want that to happen also.
Absolutely. But as you can see, these papers, some of the papers you can get into a first level of POC making or some basic proof or some basic conceptual understanding. That is okay. Get it approved. How approval will happen? If you defend well, if you present well. Otherwise, no approvals will happen, right? Right. So that is the only challenge. Because we don't want you to try everything and then go and fail there, right? Because Sandeep or whoever is on the panel, they will pounce on you. We are your actually rescuers. We don't want you to go and fail in the end after doing all the work. We are just allowing without okay, abstract submitted, go ahead. No. So when can you submit? Right now? Another 3 hours?
Can you submit that?
Why? No, please speak up. Maybe for us it is like when Dr. Simha teaches, we feel he thinks we all are in his level. We no. Sometimes is it that it is difficult? I think we have tried to simplify. I don't think it is so difficult, or it is difficult. So if at all you are presenting, you will do phase 1 and 2 together. So 2 abstracts will come. 2 abstracts, yeah, because then next Friday is enough. Otherwise, today is phase 1. See, if you have clarity will come only by talking to people, reading, right? Not just thinking that I know everything. I have seen the practices. Industry practices may not be the best practices. Academic practices may not be the best practices. You have to figure out by combining multiple things. And most of the time, like security analytics, Dr. Simha was telling, let them do that because cybersecurity panelists may not be expert in analytics. But these are all temporary way of actually getting things done. You must have clarity. Any questions we ask, you must answer. And without you, that one pager must go with enough evidence that this is a good project to continue. We will, on the mail, we will approve. Otherwise, I'll write meet online. Then come back with reviews. Again, meet online. Come back again with review. Meet online. This can go on for 2 years. No, we don't look at me like a villain in the story. Difficult.
That I think stop there and think I'll resume it, but then when I resume it, I have to start.
So what I would suggest is what is that I do, or maybe personally that some kind of a speech converter or some audio or something. Most of the things have. So while you are, I mean, some sacrifice. You can listen to music or you can listen to this. Because you have to be immersed in this topic, literally. At least for some time, at least for a week. Don't think anything else. Just keep hearing about it. What are the other ways to read a paper? See the paper which I think we just checked, right? This somewhere here, we just checked, right? This is little difficult. But I think just now we did neural something. That is so, I mean, it's not very difficult to read. Objective of this paper is applying neural networks in cryptography. See how simplified the sentence is? One idea per sentence. It is even in while writing emails, what we see is and that whole sentence is not ending. Small sentences with a noun, verb, that's all, close. While applying neural network to any application, there are chances of overloading the systems with computation time. So ban and, comma, and create complex sentences. Ban it. Think simply, simplified. You read 2 papers on this. 3rd paper you will read first. 4th paper, 10th paper, just a glance, I know this is a typical neural networks. There is a weight, there is an input layer coming in, there is some kind of, it's a linear algebra equation. So you'll keep adding weight and all that. So this is already there. Everybody knows this diagram. You don't have to look at it. Now, again, the same thing is single neuron is being looked at. So yeah, so here is the problem that, yeah, the chain of bits. This is where I have to slow down. Some part you will, because you are coming from some other area, you will fast. Moment encryption comes, okay, this is what ASCII code is there, chain of bits is there, the ciphertext, plain text and ciphertext. This is where I should understand the process. We're done. Paper is done. Right? There they have published International Journal of Application of Innovation. Yeah, somewhere they have published or conferences written. All are looking like difficult. Because if you write some general concepts and say, I know.
So just hold down, let them put some perspective with their thoughts.
So next week, then we will continue this discussion. All the abstracts will come. Right? Next Saturday. Right? Means phase 1 and phase 2. So this is mandatory, please. Okay. Thank you then. See, one thing is that the benchmark. You can create a benchmark saying that, okay, let me get 50% and pass out. You know the highest benchmark? I have a great journal publication. I have a patent. That is the salary difference between, say, a 1 CR or a 10 lakh. That is the salary difference. Anything you do in life. So if you settle down for smaller things, you can crib and blame the whole world. But if you settle down for higher and higher aspirations and work hard, and we keep saying 50% versus first ranker, what's the difference? 50%ers, while he was playing and gossiping and blaming the whole world, first ranker sat and studied. Then the placement came, first ranker got 45 lakh, no, in the university. And the 50%er is still blaming the system, telling that university didn't support. Right? You have always choice to blame others or sit and focus on ourselves. Okay, that's a lot of gyan at this age. Thank you. Bye.